It started with a lipstick stain, not mine. A soft coral pink smudged against the inside collar of Ryan's work shirt. I spotted it while doing laundry, a habit I'd picked up after we moved in together. The moment felt surreal, like watching your life from outside your body. Like watching a glass fall in slow motion, knowing you can't catch it. I didn't say anything that night. I waited, watched, and 3 days later, I got the confirmation. A message on his iPad syncing with the same iCloud account we shared. Her name was Vanessa. The conversation was explicit, familiar, not just cheating. This was a relationship. I remember standing in the kitchen, staring at the screen, my hands trembling, but my mind deadly still. I didn't cry. Not then. Not when I confronted him. Not even when he told me the most devastating part. You were just too focused on work. I needed something softer. He moved out that night, said he'd come back for his things. Left me with the lease, the fridge full of memories, and a chest full of rage. The breakdown came 2 weeks later. I was in my manager's office, trying to pitch a campaign idea, when my voice cracked. Just for a second, but that second turned into a spiral. I excused myself and locked myself in a stall, sobbing silently into my sleeve. I knew I couldn't stay, not in that job, not in that skin, so I quit, sold most of the furniture, moved into a shared apartment, bought cheap curtains, started freelancing marketing copy, and then, the turning point, an ex-colleague connected me to a new startup hatchlist, women-led, early-stage, bold ideas. They needed someone scrappy, strategic, and hungry. That was me now. I joined as employee number 8. Fast forward 3 years. Hatchlist had gone from a living room operation to a rising tech star. Our platform helped small creators monetize digital products, courses, ebooks, mentorship plans. A boom during the pandemic, VC funded, now 112 employees and climbing. And me, head of marketing, then head of strategy, then chief operating officer. And when the founder, Janelle, stepped down to raise her twins, the board's decision was unanimous. I became CEO, not because I was perfect, because I had rebuilt myself from ashes. On a random Tuesday, while reviewing onboarding requests for the open product manager role, I froze. One name stood out, Ryan D. Carter, same city, same resume, same LinkedIn link. He didn't know he had applied to my company. I didn't reject him. I could have, instantly, quietly, but something darker twisted in my chest. I called HR, told them to schedule the final interview personally with me. I said I wanted to vet this one myself. It's a culture fit thing, I explained. When he walked into the conference room, he didn't recognize me at first. Shorter hair, sharper clothes, no more pastel lipstick and soft cardigans. My body was different, too stronger, like my soul had demanded armor. But then his eyes widened. Ava, I smiled, calm as ice. Good to see you again, Ryan. Let's talk about your future. Ryan sat across from me, the same confident smile he once used to lie with now softened by awkwardness. Well, he said after a pause, You look incredible. Let's keep this professional, I replied, flipping open the folder in front of me. I didn't need it. I had already reviewed his entire history, but I wanted the power of posture, the sound of paper, the illusion of detachment. He cleared his throat. Right, of course. I scanned down the resume like I hadn't memorized it. Then looked up, my tone flat. You're applying for the product manager role at Hatchlist. What makes you think you're a good fit? He blinked, hesitated. Well, I've spent the last few years working in mid-level tech firms. I've led agile teams, built user feedback loops, iterated product cycles. Buzzwords, I said quietly. He stopped. Excuse me. You're throwing out terms like it's still 2019. Give me something real. His jaw tightened. I know how to work with people. I know how to lead. I raised an eyebrow. Really? You always struggled with commitment? He flinched. Look, Ava, he said finally. I know how this looks, but this wasn't on purpose. I didn't even know you worked here, let alone ran the whole company. So it is just a coincidence you came crawling to the one company I helped build from scratch. I didn't come crawling. I applied, like everyone else. Because your company has a reputation. Because I need a fresh start. I stared at him. My silence stretched. He squirmed in his chair. I messed up, he said, quieter now. Back then, I didn't just cheat, I destroyed something good. And I live with that every day. It felt rehearsed, too polished, and yet. There was a quiver in his voice that reminded me of the man I once loved, not the one who broke me. I didn't ask for an apology, I said. I asked about your qualifications. He sat straighter. Then give me a task, test me. Anything, I'm not asking for pity. Eva, I just want a chance. I watched him. This wasn't how I imagined revenge would feel. There was no glorious power rush. No victory music in the background, just a strange quiet. A hollow echo of what I thought I wanted. Still. Fine, I said, you'll do a 3-day trial project. You'll work with our team. If they like you, we talk again. If not, you walk. He nodded. Deal. And Ryan, he looked up. You screw anything up, even a comma, I won't just fire you. I'll bury your name in this industry. He nodded again. Understood. That night, I sat alone in my office. The power wasn't in humiliating him. The power was knowing I didn't need revenge to win. But I still wasn't done, because healing didn't mean forgetting. And some battles aren't for justice. They're for closure. Day 1, Ryan showed up on time, pressed shirt. Nervous smile, laptop in hand. I didn't greet him. Our lead engineer, Jaya, handled his onboarding. I watched from the corner of the open workspace, unseen. He introduced himself to the team with his usual charm, but softer now. More tentative, like he was afraid to take up too much space. His task, redesign the onboarding flow for new creators on our platform, a system we knew needed work. A real problem, a real test. By noon, Jaya messaged me. He's asking good questions, actually listening. By 3 p.m., our junior UX designer told me he caught a bug we'd missed. Quietly fixed it, too. I didn't want to be impressed, but I was. That night, I walked past his desk and caught him still working. We don't do hustle culture here, I said without stopping. Just trying to earn the chance, he replied. I didn't look back. Day 2, it rained. The team met for a brainstorming session. Ryan took notes, didn't interrupt. But when asked, he spoke clearly, confident, but not cocky. During the break, I saw him staring out the window. I walked over. You've changed, I said. Life humbles you when you stop running from your mistakes, he answered. He looked at me. I think about what I did to you every day. Don't make this personal. It always was. The silence between us buzzed with unsaid things. I left before I said something I couldn't take back. Day 3, final presentations. Ryan stood at the front of the conference room with a mock-up demo, wireframes, and a rollout strategy. He spoke with clarity, passion. He used our data. Showed he understood our mission. When it ended, the room clapped. I didn't. Instead, I stood slowly. Walked to the front, looked him in the eye. Good work. His mouth parted in relief. Thank you. I turned to the team. Let's take 10, then we'll vote. After the break, we met behind closed doors. Unanimous. He passed. He's not the same guy, Jaya said, but we don't owe him anything, I replied. They waited. The final decision was mine. I called him into my office. He sat, clearly trying to manage his breath. You did everything right, I said, but no but. You impressed the team. He smiled faintly. But this is where I draw the line, I added. Because even though you've changed, I haven't forgotten. And this company, it's more than just a job to me. It's what I built when you broke me. He stood slowly. I understand. He walked to the door, then turned. For what it's worth, I'm proud of you. He left. And I exhaled. Later that week, I received a handwritten letter. It was from him. Thank you for letting me face you, for showing me who you became. I needed that more than I needed the job. I folded it carefully, filed it in a drawer I rarely opened. Sometimes revenge isn't loud. Sometimes it's quiet power. Forgiveness, I realized, wasn't for him. It was for me. It was strange how quickly the office settled back into routine after Ryan left. The desks buzzed, meetings resumed, Slack channels filled with GIFs and client updates. But something in me had shifted. For years, I had carried the bitterness like a badge. I'd mistaken pain for fuel, heartbreak for hunger. And yes, it pushed me forward. But now that the moment had passed the confrontation, the power shift, I felt lighter. Not empty, not victorious, just free. I started making small changes. I took mornings slower, yoga before emails, coffee without scrolling. I met up with Janelle, our former founder, who had stepped away for motherhood. We talked about balance not as an illusion, but as a moving target. I told her about Ryan. She didn't gasp, didn't judge. Sometimes our biggest test isn't getting even, she said. It's walking away whole. I began mentoring a new junior manager, Amina, bright, relentless, just like I had been. She reminded me what it felt like to build without bitterness. She asked questions with curiosity, not defense. And she pushed me to dream beyond the company. You ever think about writing a book? She asked once about this journey. I laughed. Would anyone read it? I would, she said. Twice, one Friday afternoon, as the sun spilled golden across our rooftop patio, I hosted a casual happy hour. It wasn't corporate. It wasn't performative. Just music, drinks, and people who believed in something together. Someone clinked a glass and said, "To Ava," for reminding us what leadership can look like. I smiled, thanked them. But inside, I whispered something else, "To Ava," for letting go. Months later, I ran into Ryan at a bookstore. He was browsing in the nonfiction aisle. We both froze for a beat. He offered a gentle smile. Hey, we stood in the quiet of ink and paper. I heard Hatch This got acquired. Congrats. Thanks. You still in product. He nodded. Small place. Nothing fancy. But I like the people. I nodded too. That's what matters. There was nothing more to say. No bitterness. No unfinished chapter. Just two people who had lived through a story and walked out better separately. As I walked home that day, I thought about all the versions of myself I'd buried along the way. The girl who begged to be enough. The woman who rose from ashes. The leader who chose growth over revenge. And I knew, finally, the best revenge was not the firing. It was the rising.